Factoring Quadratics Project by Eric Ferrer. The equation that I chose was x squared minus 8x plus 12. The first step is identifying coefficients of equations. The reason why we identify coefficients is because it clarifies the relationship between terms and assists us to easily and systematically break down the quadratic expression into the factor form. As you can see here, I have my three coefficients and I sorted them into letters to make it more organized. A term is 1, which is a coefficient of x squared, which is basically invisible. Our B term is negative 8, which is a coefficient of x. And our C term is 12, which is a constant term. Step 2 is find two numbers that multiply to 12 and add to negative 8. 12 and negative 8 are the C and B terms. Doing the diamond method helps us find the blank numbers in our box, which is the next step. As you can see here, we're still trying to find two numbers that multiply to 12, but also add to negative 8. The two numbers that I found were negative 6 and negative 2. Negative 6 and negative 2 add to negative 8, while negative 6 and negative 2 multiply to positive 12. Step 3 is creating the box and filling in the blanks. As you can see, I took my original equation, x squared minus 8x plus 12. I plugged in my A and C terms, x squared, into the top left, and positive 12 into the bottom right. Once I've done that, these two are still blank. But I do know it multiplies into x squared, which is x times x. This is when the diamond comes in handy. As you could see here, this is the same diamond that we created in step 2. What I did here was plug in the negative 6 into the bottom left corner and the negative 2 into the top right corner. Having this information helps a lot. Knowing that I did the diamond already, this helps me figure out what could equal this. I then plug in what equals negative 2x, which is x times negative 2, and also what equals negative 6x, which is negative 6 times x. In our last step, step 4, it will be our answer. The way I got parentheses x minus 2 and parentheses x minus 6 is from the box. I took these outer terms and turned them into factor form, and this is the answer. This right here is the second problem that I picked, and it is 7x squared minus 45x minus 28. First step, as always, is to identify the coefficients. The A term is 7 with a coefficient of x squared. The B term is negative 45, which is the coefficient of x, and the C term is negative 28, which is the constant term. The second step is to find two numbers that multiply to negative 196 and add to negative 45. You can see here I created my diamond. It's kind of tacky, but we have to plug in negative 196 and negative 45. Put negative 196 right up here. And negative 45 at the bottom. The goal is trying to find the two numbers that are missing here that add to negative 45, but multiply to negative 196. Two numbers I figured out were negative 49 and positive 4. Negative 49 plus 4 is negative 45, and negative 49 times 4 is negative 196. As need a reminder, this is called the diamond method. Since we're factoring by grouping, we have to split the middle term. We take our original equation of 7x squared minus 45x plus or minus 28. And we could turn that into 7x squared minus 49x plus 4x minus 28. The cool part where we could factor by grouping. We take this new term that we got and just group them into 2. So if we go 7x squared, oh gosh, my pen's kind of dying. So if we take 7x squared minus 49x. And we put those in parentheses, right? Put those in parentheses. Then we do the adding sign. And then we take this side. Oh, my bad. You can't see that. You can take this side of the equation, which is 4x minus 28. You put that in parentheses as well. The reason why I put this equation into 2 parentheses is so we can factor out by grouping. See here, it says factor out GCF, which is the greatest common factor from each group. So I'll give a 7. My pen is dying. 7x. It's a little bunched up in there. Times x minus 7 plus 4 parentheses, so basically times x minus 7. I don't know if you guys can see, but these two are the same. Very important because they are the greatest common factors. How I got 7x parentheses x minus 7 was me basically breaking this down. 7x times x equals 7x squared, which is up here, and 7x times negative 7, which equals negative 49x. It's the same thing that works over here too. It's just this broken down. 4 times x is 4x, which is up here, and 4 times negative 7 is negative 28. The important reason to find the greatest common factor is to simplify the expression by removing the largest common factor, and also it makes it easier for us to, multiply and do factor by grouping. Our 5th step is to factor out the binomial. The reason why we factor out the binomial is to take this term and make it into an answer just like this. Factoring out the binomial gives us an answer in factored form. This is our final answer.